everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. Today I bring you my February TBR. So for the month of February, there's about 12 books that I'm really interested in reading. As of the filming of this video, we already have about a week into February, so I've actually been able to finish one book and a half, and I will go ahead and start you off with those. I'll also try to tell you a little bit about why I chose to read this particular book or these particular books in the month of February. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm super excited to share with you all these great reads that I'm looking forward to reading this month. So the first book on my February TBR is Brat by Gabriel Smith. This is the one book I have already completed for this month, and in this book we are following a main character named Gabriel as well, which is pretty interesting. And this is basically a horror novel dealing with grief. So the main character, Gabriel, is struggling or coping with the loss of his father. As of the opening of the book, he is attending the father's funeral, and then what proceeds is almost like a fever dream, if you will, of his grief manifesting itself in visions and some sorts of hallucinations, and the blending of reality and fiction, and him not being able to kind of differentiate between the two. So the other book I already went ahead and started is Word Hunter, and Word Hunter is by Stella Sands, and I'm actually reading this as a part of my best friends and I's book club, and for this month we picked Word Hunter, and I'm in the middle of it and I'm absolutely loving it. So in this book we are following Maggie, who is the protagonist, and she is a girl who's really into linguistics and the study of language, and she's constantly diagramming sentences. She basically is working on her graduate degree as much as possible about how she can effectively use language in order to catch killers, things like that. The interest for her began when she was a little girl and her best friend in the entire world went missing, and she has pretty much spent her entire adult life trying to find her and piece together the story as to what happened to her. I'm in the middle of this and I'm absolutely loving it. There's so many cool references to literary works, to movies. It has so many good quotes. It's very like nerdy, and it's something that appeals to me. Obviously, as an English teacher, I really enjoy the study of language and how she's able to use language in order to solve crimes and stuff like that. So I'm really enjoying this one. The next book on my February TBR is The 13 Problems by Agatha Christie. So I actually picked this one up for the Read Christie challenge. And I believe this is a short story collection, and it's like the best short stories of Agatha Christie featuring Miss Marple, and I do enjoy a good Marple. I also believe Marple is best in short stories as opposed to Poirot, who excels like in the longer novels. So in 13 Problems, there's actually 13 stories in which Marple is trying to solve the whodunit. So I actually do enjoy Christie's short stories, and I'm looking forward to reading this one this month, especially after last month having enjoyed Five Little Pigs so much. I'm really looking forward to this month having the option to read a short story collection. So the next book on my February TBR is Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear by Shannon McGuire. So this is actually book 10 in the series of The Wayward Children. If you're not familiar with this series, it's basically like a YA portal fantasy, and in it we are following these groups of kids who find these doors that appear in their regular normal worlds, and when they encounter the door and they go through them, it takes them to another place. Each of the books basically focuses on how the children are unable to adapt back to the real world once they come back through the door, and so they all attend like a special school for that. So this is installment 10. I absolutely adore this series, and this coming from a non-series girly, this is probably the only series that I am currently caught up with and that I do read. I believe we're following one of the girls the drowned girl in this one and getting her story. So I'm really looking forward to reading this month. The next thing on my February TBR is Afterlife by Gail Forman. So I went ahead and picked this up because it's part of the Good Morning America YA selection of this month. I do try to keep up with a lot of those book clubs. I don't read them faithfully every month. What I kind of do is, if it's a book that was already on my radar, or if it's chosen and I read the synopses and find them interesting, then I pick up the books. And this one definitely sounded very, very interesting to me. And it's an author I've never read from before, so I'm looking forward to that. But the premise is that we are following this girl named Amber who died 7 years prior to the book starting, and all of a sudden one day she shows up at her house and she's like come back to life. So that's really all I know, and I don't think I want to know anymore. I kind of want to go in blindly with this one. I'm assuming it's speculative. It has to have a speculative kind of twist to it. I'm also thinking it's probably going to pull at the heartstrings or something, because if Amber's back, it has to be for a reason. So I'm hoping I don't cry too much. There are a couple of tear jerkers on my list, and normally I avoid things that make me cry a lot, because I do cry a lot. So we'll see. Maybe it's just like a feel-good kind of book and I won't cry as much as I'm anticipating I will cry with this one. Continuing with book clubs, I am also reading A New Earth: Awakening to Your Life's Purpose, which is a part of Oprah's book club for this month. And I believe this is a selection she chose before and it's made a comeback. Apparently that's how much she enjoyed this particular read. I do like including some nonfiction each month in my reading. My favorite way of consuming nonfiction is audio, so I'll probably pair this one up with audio. But I do enjoy like a good nonfiction that edifies, that instructs, that is a little bit inspiring, and I think that's what this book is all about. A New Earth, about fulfilling your life's purpose. Next on my TBR is The Test by Sylvain Nouvelle. This book has been on my TBR for a very long time, and I don't know why I keep feeling like I save it for the right moment. It's incredibly thin. I feel like everyone has read this. When I look at Goodreads, almost all of the people I follow have read it and have enjoyed it. It has a lot of buzzwords that I like in the descriptions or in people's reviews. Dystopian reminds us of Black Mirror is what a lot of reviewers say, and I'm an absolute sucker for anything that has to do with Black Mirror. And I do enjoy a good dystopia. So basically all I know about this one is that there's a character taking a citizenship test, and then as a result there's like, during the exam or something, there's like a crime or a death that happens, and then it's the aftermath of that. Again, I like to go in blindly with these very, very short ones, but I'm definitely anticipating this to be a good book, and I will try to make it a part of my February books that I read. Next on my list is something that I've been working on for quite some time. This is 101 Horror Books to Read Before You're Murdered. And I have been leisurely reading this for quite a few months. It is basically, I guess you could describe it as an anthology, or perhaps like a reference guide to horror books. And this has been such a gem for me. In particular, helping me add books to my TBR that I think I might be interested in reading in the future. So what the author again has done, and it's Sadie Mother Horror Hartman, the one who edited this anthology and the creator of this book. She went ahead and put together this comprehensive list of her favorite books, and they're all divided into like categories, right? So it'll be demons and possession, and then we'll have like little synopses of each of the books with quotes and telling us a little bit about that category and why she chose that book for that category. I have found it truly delightful. I'm very proud to have read a lot of the books here, which I have been tabbing every time I find a book that I've read, but it's just really helped me find niche type of horror that I tend to like. And I've really enjoyed her recommendations and her ideas, and like at the beginning of each of the sections there's like a little essay that she includes talking about that type of horror, and I've found it incredibly refreshing. So this is one of those that I pick up every now and then, and I leaf through it and I read a couple pages, but I kind of want to finish it already, so I think it'll get finished this month. So the next book on my list is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. So first of all, I'm reading this because clearly I love Grady Hendrix. I think a lot of us who enjoy horror really like Grady Hendrix. I also added it to my list because it is one of the books, I believe it's the February book for Literally Dead Book Club, and I believe it's also the March selection for the Midnight Society Book Club. So there are quite a few book clubs that I follow that have selected this. But besides all of that, I am a huge Grady Hendrix fan, and so I'm really looking forward to reading this. So what I've heard a couple people saying about this one is that it's not your typical Grady Hendrix, that it's not maybe as campy or funny as a lot of his works are. I've also heard that it's basically following a group of girls who become pregnant, young girls who become pregnant during the 70s, and how they all live together in this house for girls, and witchcraft ensues from there. I'm not really sure more of what this is about, but I think that's pretty much the premise of it. And it is pretty thick, but I've read a couple of his longer works too, and I have enjoyed them. So I am really excited about picking this one up, and I absolutely love this cover. It's just stunning with the lava lamp. It kind of screams 70s, and it's a beautiful book. So next on my list is This Is a Love Story by Jessica Soffer. And this is part of the Read with Jenna book club selection for February, and this is definitely going to be a tearjerker. So when I saw that she selected this as the February book, I had not heard of it, and the moment that I read the synopsis and saw that it was basically taking place in New York City, and I believe some of the verbiage is that it's an homage to New York City, and it's a couple that throughout the decades has gone to Central Park and visited Central Park and key moments of their lives, and now that they're older, and I believe the wife is dying, they return back to Central Park. So I can imagine this is going to be incredibly sad, but I'm also really looking forward to the descriptions of Central Park and feeling transported there. New York City is my favorite place in the world. I try traveling to the city every couple months. It's actually been a while, but I'm very excited. I'm heading there this March now. But that's my favorite part, I think, of this, or what I'm anticipating the most about this, that it does have the setting play a huge role in the plot and what this is about. So I'm very much looking forward to it, as well as learning more about this couple, Abe and Jane, who have been together pretty much their whole lives, and now they're reaching the end of their love story. So I'm really looking forward to picking this one up, and it's another one of these beautiful covers. Next on my list is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. And amongst all these new releases, it's so strange, I'm sure, for you to see The Lying Game, which is one of Ruth Ware's older works. I actually believe this is the only Ruth Ware that I have not read. There might be like one more, but I've read her entire backlist, and it's actually on my 25 to read in 2025, so I'm trying to squeeze it in, and I will make a video with what those 25 books are soon. But yeah, this one's on there, and we are basically following a group of women, like a group of friends, I believe, who attended school together, and then they each went their separate ways. But it's one of those that something happens now in the present that requires that they all get together again and meet again, because obviously something has impacted or changed a promise that they made each other. something about a lying game. I know that one of the characters like finds like something like a dead body or something in the lake or by her house, and then she contacts the others and tells them like it's time we meet again or something. So it's one of those coming back together, which it's a trope that I do enjoy in thrillers, and Ruth Ware is always a good time. I find the vast majority of her books very entertaining, and I also enjoy how different all her books are. She can have a haunted house kind of book. She has an isolated closed circle mystery kind of book. She also has revenge stories, friends from the past kind of thing. So I really do like how different each of her books is. So I am looking forward to being able to catch up on one of the only ones I'm missing, or the only one I'm missing from her backlist. And then the last book on my list of things I want to read in February is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. So I'm reading this clearly because it's part of Gabby's The Book Troop selection for February, but I'm also reading this because I really enjoy Alice Feeney's books. I have enjoyed, I believe, most of the things I've read by Alice Feeney. This one has a great premise. Something about a husband and wife, and the wife has like a car accident or something while she's on the phone with the husband, and then when he arrives at the scene, like she's missing and she disappears, and it's not until like a year later that he is elsewhere. He has moved somewhere else, he's gone on with his life, and he finds or sees a woman who looks exactly like his wife. So that is definitely promising. And this is another one of these beautiful covers with that holographic effect on the letters. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the books that I would love to get to read in February. I am a mood reader, so a lot of things have to line up in order for me to pick up books and when I pick them up. And a lot of times I like waiting for my audiobook holds to come in, or that determines the order I read things in. But all of these pretty much are on my plan for February. A short month and a lot of books, and some of them lengthy, but hopefully I get to read them all. And if not, I'll carry them over to March. But I hope that these are some books that are on your radar. If they are, let me know in the comments below if you've read any of them and I should prioritize them and bump them up my list and make sure that I do get to read them in February. Please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.